Hello, this is Dr. Ford. I want to welcome you to Philosophy 1301, Introduction to Philosophy. This is the internet or online version of Philosophy 1301, Introduction to Philosophy. In order to give you good context about where I'm coming from, what we'll be doing this semester, I want to give you a short introduction about myself, also about my family, and also my education background. I am Dr. Ford. I am the department chair and professor of philosophy for the Nevada College system. If you take any courses other than Philosophy 1301 here at Nevada College, including ethics, etc., I am the supervisor for those instructors. I help set the curriculum and devise the courses for philosophy. So I am the department chair and professor of philosophy for the Nevada College system. This is a picture of my wife and me. I was very, very fortunate that she said yes to me whenever I proposed to her. She is a wonderful mother, a wonderful wife. She's also an employee of Nevada College. She's the one who actually distributes funds from the federal government to students when they apply for loans, grants, etc. from the federal government. Just a word here to those of you who do get assistance from the government. It is important that you turn in your materials in on time. The government does not care about when you need the money. The government only cares about basically its own timetable, so therefore whenever you submit all the materials correctly and it is submitted to the government has a timetable. And there's nothing my wife nor anybody else in financial aid can do to make them go faster. They don't care about your needs. They care only about their timetables. So do yourself a favor. Don't get mad at financial aid people when you don't get your loans or grants, etc. whenever you think you deserve them. Make sure you get them in on time or your application, so therefore you do get your loans and grants in on from the government at a timetable. Next, here's a picture of my family and me. To the right of the picture, you see my son. He is a graduate of Corsicana High School. He was valedictorian, and his best friends were number 2, number 3 in the class as well. Very smart young man. He went to Baylor and got his Bachelor of Science in Economics from Baylor University. He went there mainly for the reason of debating. He was recruited by Baylor to be a debater there, and Baylor is one of the top 20 schools in the United States when it comes to debate. His final years there, he was one of the top 4 debaters for Baylor University. He's very, very good in mathematics, and if you're good in mathematics, you need to listen to me. After getting his Bachelor's of Science in Economics, he went on to North Carolina State University and got a Master of Science in Analytics. It's one of the top schools in the world in this area. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're good in mathematics, you need to look at analytics at the master's level, because this degree helps people save major corporations millions and millions and millions of dollars. After he graduated from North Carolina State University in 1 year, he was snatched up by United Airlines. There worked in Chicago in the tallest building in North America, the Willis Building, and I was able to fly free to England because of that. Okay. Later, the next year, he was actually recruited by ERCOT, which manages the energy grid for 90% of all the energy here in the state of Texas. After that, the next year, he was recruited by NRG, one of the top energy conglomerates in the world. He's done very, very well. To the right of him is my daughter-in-law. She also is a graduate of Baylor University. As good as a debater as he was, or is, she is one of the best in the history of Baylor University. She and her partner had the distinction of beating the #1 team in the world in debate. They were from Great Britain. If they debated them 100 times, I doubt they'd win more than once, but all it takes is one win to win the Super Bowl, and they beat them. It was a very impressive achievement. Next on the left is my daughter. She is also a graduate of Corsicana High School. She graduated from UNT in English. Today, though, she is a cybersecurity analyst. They're finding out that English majors are excellent when it comes to coding and also to cybersecurity. So if you're good in English and you find a hard job teaching English, you may well look at cybersecurity, look at coding. My wife is holding our grandson. He's the pride and joy of our lives. So this gives you an idea about my family background. Here's my education background. After graduating from Lancaster High School, I went on and received a Master of Science degree from the University of Texas in Austin. The major there, in addition to education, was biology and chemistry. Chemistry was my favorite science discipline I took at the University of Texas. It's very, very logical. You may ask, well, why are you teaching philosophy if you majored in science at the University of Texas? Well, two reasons. I'm glad I did. First of all, is this, is that there is an alliance, not a wedding, but an alliance, a relationship between science and also philosophy. And this will become more apparent as we get into the course. Next is this. I'm glad I've got degrees in science because, ladies and gentlemen, many scientists today believe that because they're experts in physics, astrophysics, they're therefore experts in philosophy. And therefore, they think what they say in philosophy is just sacrosanct. It is very, very true. That may be true. It may not be true. People who are experts in one field are not necessarily experts in another field. So therefore, it's good. I'm glad I'm able to understand what they say in the area of science, especially when they start relating it to philosophy. Next, I got my master's and my PhD, my doctorate, from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. At the PhD level, my two majors were philosophy and also New Testament. I'm glad I have both of them, that degree in both those majors. The reason is today many people in the area of philosophy make claims about Scripture, about the Bible, and they may not hold up. So something very important for you to be able to be conversant in the area of religion, biblical studies, as well as philosophy and science. When I was at Southwestern, I was very fortunate to be mentored by a man of the name of Dr. Yandel Woodfin. He got his bachelor's degree in philosophy from Baylor University, which is a very, very fine school of philosophy. Next, he got his master's from Princeton, studied with Emile Caillet, and then studied there, got his doctorate from the University of Edinburgh, Scotland, under T.F. Torrance and John McIntyre. Later, though, he went and studied with a man at Cambridge University. I'll come back to that man in just a moment. I've also had studies, taken courses at Baylor University, Cambridge University, where I studied Athens and the 5th century intellectual revolution. Also, Oxford University. Oxford University, there I studied, and these courses, Introduction to Philosophy and Introduction to Ethics. I'm glad I went to both these schools. Oxford especially is considered the top school in the world in the area of philosophy. I wanted to know how I could do the best school in the world. Not only did I do well, but I thoroughly enjoyed my experience at Oxford University. I mentioned that my philosophy mentor, Dr. Yandel Woodfin, studied at Cambridge University. The reason he studied at Cambridge University is that he wanted to study with C.S. Lewis. Now, many of you have heard of C.S. Lewis. Mainly that you've heard about him basically as being the author of the children's books, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, etc. It is true. He wrote probably what's called the standard books of children's literature. But, ladies and gentlemen, he is far more famous and far more important than just being an author of children's literature. First of all is this. He has written every genre of literature there is. That is most impressive. Number two, he got 3 degrees from Oxford University, top school in the world. What is amazing is that whereas normally it takes you and me to spend 4 to 5 years in getting a bachelor's degree from the school. He got all 3 of his degrees from Oxford University, not in 15 years, not in 12 years, not in 9 years, not in 7 years. He got all 3 degrees in 5 years from Oxford University, plus he got what you would call a 4.0 in all 3 degrees. That is stunning. He is an intellectual giant. His first degree was actually in philosophy, Greek and Latin philosophy. His second degree was in ancient cultures and history. This is important because as we go through the course, we'll be looking at claims people make about the ancients, which may not be true. Number 3, he also got his third degree in medieval literature, literature of the Middle Ages. More than any other writer, philosopher, C.S. Lewis has influenced me. Very, very important. Now, here's the deal. You'll be encountering some of his thoughts in the book From Plato to Plantinga, the required textbook. But I want to assure you, you do not have to agree with me on anything. When it comes to what you believe, that's up to you. You will be challenged. You'll be looking at different viewpoints, but ladies and gentlemen, never ever will you be punished for what you believe to be the truth. My main mentor there at Oxford University was István Musa. He and I disagreed on some topics. I told him at the end of the semester how much I appreciated that he did not punish me for disagreeing with him. He told me this, that once you start punishing people for their ability to be the true, you have destroyed philosophy. So we don't do that here. You will get challenged, yeah. You may have to defend what you claim to be true, but ladies and gentlemen, you will never ever be punished for what you believe to be true. This is philosophy. About our textbook. The required textbook is From Plato to Plantinga, an introduction to philosophy. And I wrote the book. You go, well, why did you write the book? First of all is this. At the end of my name, you'll see the letters PhD. That is meaning Doctor of Philosophy. Whatever else a PhD does, he researches and writes. That's what the degree is about researching and writing. Number 1. Number 2 is this, is that I wrote the book because philosophy books are ridiculously expensive. The book we had before I started teaching, when I actually started teaching there at the college, was Voices of Wisdom. That book today costs over $250, whereas the book From Plato to Plantinga is anywhere between $13 to $20. Moreover, the book Voices of Wisdom is nothing more than a collection of writings of philosophers that you can get off the internet. They are free. That is iniquitous. Number 3, the third reason I wrote the book is that the way many philosophy books approach the study of philosophy, I think, is very, very unhealthy. For example, you have the case of the previous book I told you about. All it does is basically give you a lot of readings which are free, you can find on the internet. They don't give you any tools to know how to process claims. Are claims legitimate? Are they warranted? We'll look at that word later. Okay, so therefore, that's not good. We expose people to ideas, and maybe the ideas are good, maybe they're not, but the students need to know how to assess, how to evaluate whether good ideas are good to accept or not. I will never say what are good ideas or not ideas, just give you the tools on how to process information. The other approach that many take is basically indoctrination. For example, the textbook I had to read for Oxford University was, I think, from Simon Blackburn. Very much indoctrination. Very much. He has a viewpoint and was cramming it down your throat as you read it. So therefore, that is not healthy either. I'm going to give you different perspectives, tools in order to be able to evaluate, assess information, and then you make that decision yourself. So therefore, we've taken this middle approach, which I think is a much healthier approach to evaluating philosophies. Now note that attendance is mandatory. You go, well, I don't have to show up for class. No, you don't. But in an internet course, your attendance is based upon the assignments you do. So therefore, if you miss 2 weeks of assignments, you are in danger of being dropped from the class. I may drop you, I may not drop you, but you must be doing assignments. Therefore, again, if you miss 2 weeks of assignments consecutively, then you're in danger of being dropped from the course. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will show you now the course syllabus you'll find on the internet. When you open up the course, you will see on the left-hand side a tool menu tools in dark, the black. Also, you'll find next to that, on the right of this, also tools you can use here in this course. Now, you need to look here where it says course syllabus. This course syllabus is going to give you all the information you need about the course, in addition to what I've just said in this video. Now look right here as well where it says syllabus. Great. This will give you all the assignments and their due dates. So if you're ever needing to know when there's an assignment and when are the due dates, it'll be right here on the syllabus. Let's go back here to course syllabus. Here you go. First of all, we look at the title. We look also at the meeting times, contact information. If you need to call me, here's my phone number. Here's also the email address you need to use in order to contact me. Here's a description of the course, also the objectives of the course. Here are the course outcomes, things you may or may not be interested in. Here is the reading materials that are required, also optional. Most of the optional ones I've already provided for you, they're free. Here's the grading criteria. First of all is this. You'll have a debate that's worth 15% of the grade, a project that focuses on ethics in action, quizzes 40%, a midterm exam 15%, a final exam 15%. The final will be comprehensive. It will cover everything you studied so far in philosophy in this class. Now note this. This is very, very important. In order to make an A in the course, you must not only have a 90% overall grade average, you must also make at least an A- on a 6-page double-spaced paper covering ultimate reality. Writing templates are going to be provided. Now, if you have a 95 in the class and do not write the paper, you'll make an 89 in the class. If you have a 95 in the class and make a B on the paper, you'll make an 89 in the class. You must have at least a 90% overall grade average plus at least an A- on the paper to make an A in the course. Otherwise, your grade shoots down to an 89. Suppose you have an 88 in the class. Should you write the paper? No, because I won't grade it. The paper is only for those who want to and can make an A in the class. It does not count as extra credit. Any student who does that, wants extra credit, will be denied that request. This is not extra credit. It's only for those who want to make an A in the class and have at least a 90% overall grade average. Again, that person must make a 90% overall grade average and also at least an A- on the paper to make an A in the class. So again, welcome to Introduction to Philosophy 1301, the Internet course. Hope you have a wonderful semester. Please feel free to contact me through email. Especially, I check that twice a day, in the morning, also in the evening, before 9 o'clock, not after 9. So hopefully you are going to enjoy this course, have a great semester, and benefit greatly from it.